Hey everyone, and welcome to Skeptic Takeout's 1-year anniversary. Alongside me, one of the starters of the channel, Richard Gilliver. Richard, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm really excited about this. There's some awesome people here today. Can't wait for it.
When I first saw your channel name being totally transparent, my first initial thought was, okay, who's going to tell this guy he spelled skeptic wrong? Because I saw it as C, and I'm just like like, what's going on here? And I looked it up, and apparently that is the correct way of spelling it in some other countries. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yeah, in the old world, that's still how we spell things.
Yeah. So why did you get this channel started, and how did you get it started?
How was the hard part because I did not have a clue what I was doing at all. It was dive in and do the best I could. And the very first episode was on like a video camera from about 30 years ago. So it's all echoey and horrible. But why? I'd wanted to do something for ages, and I saw Laura McGee, who's going to be one of our guests tonight, and Richard Gill, who does the Skeptic Hangout podcast with both me and Laura doing their channels. And I thought, you know what? Just dive in. They're amazing. I want to do what they're doing. So that's what I did. I just started it and off we went.
What do you like most about doing it?
Meeting the amazing people, because everybody who's on tonight is someone who I've met through doing this in one respect or another. And they're awesome. Every single one is awesome. And I wanted tonight's show not just to celebrate this show, but those people as well, because everybody who's on tonight, every guest has been a large part of my journey. Whether they've inspired me, whether like you, they've given me opportunities. Everybody is so important to me who's on tonight. It's not just a case of having someone on for the atheist or skeptic community, just for the sake of having them on. They are all genuinely important to me.
So that's good. We have a question from the audience, which I think we need to get to like right away.
Wow.
Have you added Nightbot as a mod on your channel?
Because no idea.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know of any.
Nightbot won't be working then today, so maybe next time.
Right. Okay.
What are before we got what 30 seconds?
Yeah.
As quickly as possible. What are some future plans you have, or where would you like to see this go?
Oh wow. I just want to keep getting things done as I'm doing and appearing on the amazing shows I'm appearing on, the call-in shows. We're doing new stuff all the time with new shows who are having me on as guests. It's exciting. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm excited about where it does go.
Good. Awesome. You ready to bring on our first two guests?
Certainly.
Cool. Let's welcome Laura McGee and Tangel Wright.
And
happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Skeptic Takeout.
I can tell you two rehearsed that so much.
Oh, we so didn't. Just jumped in because she was doing it. I love it.
How are you doing?
I'm very good. And you know what? You two, two of the most instrumental people as to why I'm doing this anyway. So that's why I wanted you on.
I'm taking full credit for yoinking you out of the obscurity of the general public and dragging you into Facebook.
I think Tangel should take full credit, period, because she was the one encouraging me as well. And if it weren't for that, I wouldn't be here with you. So
yeah, a few people know this story, but Richard actually approached me. I had just got all of the old Facebook groups closed down and the new fan groups set up. I had also roped in Richard Gill to do the graphics. So I don't know if anybody knows that. But yeah, I had set up the fan groups and Richard dared approach me and say, hey, I think you should do a Talk Heathen fan group. And I thought, who is this headless Chuck? How dare he? So I said, that's a great idea. You're now a mod.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what happened.
I love it. Great idea. You get right on it.
Yeah, exactly right. But from the very start, Richard just fit in with our group. A lot of people don't realize just how close the mod teams can actually get. And we have really tight groups and wonderful, wonderful social lives with them behind the scenes from all over the world, obviously. And Richard fit right in. He was so lovely, and we've just loved him ever since. And it became very apparent very quickly that Richard had a lot of skill. So, yeah, I was very, well, no skills, awful person, terrible. No, he was.
Better.
And I'm really keen to see his aspirations go towards AXP. I think he should be on AXP. As with you, Laura, I think both of you, from the day I saw you do your Unapologetically Me, I said to you, you've got to do your own stuff and go, go, go.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I loved you both, and I think you've done a marvelous job, and I'm so excited to see where you end up.
Yeah, I think the same about Laura. She was one of the people who inspired me to start doing this.
This is supposed to be about you tonight. We need to stop this.
I've had enough compliments for tonight already.
Yeah, no, you're going to be getting them for the next 2 hours, and you're going to love it, baby.
I called you a headless chap. I can't go with that.
I've been trying to get Tangel to say headless chuck on air for like a year.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. That's a good little clip to keep.
That's it. That's it for my night. Is satisfied now.
Yeah.
But Tangel is instrumental. You can go to her with any kind of problems or issues or insecurities, and she'll just tell you straight. And that's what I like. If you've said something wrong, she'll tell you I've said something wrong. If you're going in the right direction, she'll give you encouragement, and it's brilliant. It's you know you can get a straight answer, and there's no bullshit coming from it. And I don't want people blowing smoke up my arse, and that's why Tangel is so instrumental to me and this channel and to everything that's been achieved so far.
But that's the best of it, because she's so encouraging. So then you know that when she is encouraging you, it kind of gives you like butterfly, like hope, like, yeah, I must be really good then.
Yeah.
You know, like it's lovely. I like it.
You are. There's so many great people that need to be on screen.
I agree. Best name ever.
Don't be ridiculous. She's the one that should. Yeah, Kyle.
Look, everybody's coming out of the woodwork now.
I know. Honestly, this is no longer about Skeptic Takeout. This is about Tangel and how she brings us all together and she's got like this wily mind for bringing people together and getting people moving.
I think it's part of just being a volunteer coordinator. I like to see who's got what skills and pop them in there. And I'm not a host. I'm not host material. It's not what I want to do. It's not what I'm comfortable doing. So when I see talent, I like to push it.
Oh, I love that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I remember about a year ago, Tangel.
Yes,
I think Kenneth was another victim of mine, actually.
He started his channel around the same time we did. It was like shortly after that he started his, and he's done freaking awesome. I love his stuff. Yeah,
I think Kristen and myself and Katie might have
kind of pushed him a little bit into it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Pushed the issue.
We're gonna start calling that nudge a Tangel. Be like, I was Tangel.
We should start a game, I think, where we spot up and coming YouTubers and content creators and see if they've been Tangeled or not.
I love it.
Well, yeah, I did. No, wait, that's right. I do tend to have a habit of trying to find people, but anyway. I'm so glad I did, because you two are just wonderful, and you've got already a wonderful following. Look how well you've done. I'm so proud. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, well, Laura's got this great saying that we kind of use on the show a lot, and it's the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yeah. Yeah, people ask me like, how do I get what I want, or how do I get to wherever it was that I'm at, you know, and I'm like, squeaky wheel gets the grease. Like, I'm tenacious. I don't shut up until I get what I want.
That's
it's
what I do behind the scenes to poor Vern.
Yeah. But there's something about that makes people successful. Like that's how you get to where you want to be, is by not giving up. You try and you try and you try, and it works just as much as like for a coordinator to bring new people in. Like you push people and poke and talk, and you get the people that you want to get.
Yeah, and look, there's a lot
love
of people out there who are so skilled, who are just a little shy, a little nervous, a little hesitant, or who think it might be a little bit too hard. And sometimes they just need a good push. And I'm happy to do it because I love seeing all this content creation. It's just been magnificent. This has been a really fabulous year.
I love seeing how the community has grown. Like I like to blame that on COVID, actually.
I do too. Yeah.
I really love seeing how we went from such a small amount of atheist content creators to just so many options and so many voices. And I love what people are putting out there.
And for the most part, good voices as well. And
good, yeah. Well, we just don't hear the bad ones. Like they just don't come across our attention, right?
They don't. But it's like a whole new wave, and it's bigger. And the reason I like more and more and more, because I mean, obviously we there's a lot of crossover with topics and what you're talking about, but there's a lot of different perspectives. Sometimes people just like different voices, different accents, just a different, color icon on the show. Who knows? But the very fact that there's so many people out there means it's becoming less and less a little fringe group of radical atheists who, aren't like the rest of us. So, I'd just like to see more and more and more.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons Skeptic Hangout got started, which is the show me and Laura and Mr. Richard Gill do, who's uncannily similar name to me and lives about 30 miles away, talking about this huge worldwide community. And
the two of you happen to be my stinky co-hosts. Yep.
I don't even remember how that started. I think I reached out to both of you individually, and then we just one of us came up with the idea, and that's really taken off far more than our individual shows.
Yeah, well, the idea was to have like more extended casual conversations rather than doing like a recorded topic, or doing the live shows where it's coming at you left and right, was just to sit down and have a conversation and just kind of see what happened. And it's evolved into something that I think is becoming really incredible, because like we have this whole thing of like purposely don't do any research, right? We're not trying to be experts. We're not trying to answer any questions. What is it like when three skeptics just hang around and bullshit? And it has really become something like I like it. I like where we're headed.
And being fully open to being wrong. We said that on almost every episode. Please tell us when we make mistakes and when we're wrong.
And Richard Gilliver never wastes an opportunity to interrupt me and tell me that he disagrees with me or that I said something wrong.
So, Tangel, Laura, where can everyone check you out at?
Nowhere. But Laura?
Just volunteer for the ACA. She'll be there and she'll be in the background. I'm mostly doing Skeptic Hangout. I need to get back into Unapologetically Me, but right now Skeptic Hangout is the place to find me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining the Skeptic Takeout's 1 year anniversary.
Yes, thank you guys for having me on.
Yes.
All right, Richard, you ready for your next guests?
Yes, I certainly am.
All right, we have Philip Leach and Brainbug. Philip, nice to actually meet you.
Hello.
How are you?
Philip is amazing. Phil, I've been trying to get Philip to do stuff. I finally got him on an episode of Skeptic. Which one was it? Hangout, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I was so excited to have Philip on. I'd been rattling on for about a year about getting him on the shows and one of the shows, because he's one of the guys who I got quite a lot of the early days of my channel. Compliments about things like, my philosophy and stuff like that, which really isn't very good. And I always go to Philip to check out, fact check stuff, and he's the one who's always there to correct me if I make mistakes in that area, and it really is the go-to person. I was pushing and pushing and pushing, and I was so happy when he first appeared on the Skeptic Hangout show. It was fantastic, and we have so much scheduling difficulties because we're like on the opposite sides of the flat Earth. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's amazing, and he'll probably hate me for kind of pushing that line, but he really is so like he's one of my go-to people in the community for checking my faults.
Yeah, and me too. So we've had a couple of conversations where I've come away having learnt the position I had wasn't actually well-founded. Also wanted to add that I'm one of Tangel's minions. She got me into being Facebook mod of the ACA Facebook groups.
Yeah. And Brainbug, we go way back to my first episode of The Perspective, which I think was the 5th of May. And that was amazing.
It was fun. It's always fun to hang out with you, Richard. And we can't wait until our next session of co-hosting together, so we can attack some bad arguments and maybe build some good ideas and just spread the word about logic and rationality.
Yeah, I do a lot of kind of round table stuff, but that live interaction with people calling in is something that it's another thing completely for me. I absolutely love that. I love talking to people, and especially on The Perspective, where you get so many different kinds of calls. I remember that first show we did together, and we got call after call after call, and they were completely different. Every single one was completely different, and you have to be on. We had calls about philosophy, about religion, about ghosts, and you have to be on your toes all the time.
Because you have any alien calls? I can't remember. Those are my favorite. I love alien calls.
I think we had was that the one with the lady who was walking in the park and saw the alien, and she didn't realize if it was in a suit or not.
Yeah, you never know. It's that kind of show that we, as long as they're not promoting dangerous ideas, we'll talk to pretty much anybody about any kind of beliefs. We just want to understand why people believe it. We want to get their perspective. So, name drop. And if you want to see me and Richard hang out together, put some hearts in the side chat there so we know.
I watched
that episode, and that was really interesting because you're potentially dealing with people with potentially mental issues, but you don't want to necessarily go there. And I think you guys handled that really well.
Thank you.
Yeah, Richard was a natural. Took to it like a duck to water to engage.
Yeah, I was really nervous as well, and Bree and Ethan just like really eased me into it. They made me feel like it was so comfortable to do. When it was my first ever call-in show. It was literally the first time I'd been on talking to people, and I've been talking to people for 25 years in the street. In the old days before the internet, and you go out and you speak to people, who believe in ghosts or in aliens or in religion, different religious ideas. And back in the day, you used to go out into the street and talk to the people who were doing the preaching on the street corners and that kind of thing. So I wasn't new to it, but being sat at home in your own home on the phone, essentially on the phone with someone, it's a completely different ball game. You don't have those like subtle mental cues, like visible cues from people when you're speaking to them. So a lot can be missed just through the fact that you speaking on the phone. But it's so much fun. It's like I said, it keeps you on your toes, it keeps you ready, and it keeps you going, and I love it.
Yeah, I like being on camera. I was so nervous about being on camera when I first started, but then I'm like, pull out a bug and be like, okay, and I can hold this bug while I talk. And then I can talk to the bug. I can look at the bug and talk to the bug. And I did that the first episode. Ethan probably remembers that. I think I held that praying mantis the whole time.
So tell us a little bit about your bugs and your channel, Bree, because I've always been fascinated by it. It's something I know nothing about. So watching someone with an expertise in something you have no knowledge about, it's fascinating.
Yeah, I run the Brain Bug YouTube channel, and we're in a hive, surrounded by all kinds of cool, creepy crawlies, and I use them to teach about science. I have a weekly show I do on Saturday mornings where we do all kinds of fun stuff, but like we do our crypto corner, which I know on Skeptic Hangout, you all did a cryptid episode a couple months back. I really enjoyed that. So we talk about that kind of stuff. Usually I'm debunking them. Sometimes I'm like, but most of the time I'm debunking them. They're usually a lot of red flags go up. And we look at Conservapedia, and then we play with bugs. I get out my new bugs. I show off my praying mantises. We talk about science. We read science articles. I try to bring some things from like nature and science and things like that, journals, and bring them down to where lay people can understand them a little bit better, because it's information that we should all have access to, and it shouldn't be hidden. Sometimes it's hidden behind paywalls, but if I can have access to primary literature, I usually try to break that down for everybody, and it's always a fun time. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about cryptozoology for me, which because I've always kept my eye on it, but I've never kind of deep dove into it. I've got a Giascal on something to give him an opportunity to take the piss out before, and I might as well fuck up from the beginning. It was the thing is with it is potentially like legitimate. There are legitimate creatures out there we don't know things about. So it's one of those great areas where we can apply skepticism, because you've got this aspect of it over here, which is legitimate science, and then you've got this aspect over here, which is just like these guys who just jump onto anything, like the chupacabra and things like that.
Yeah, and even the chupacabra, for instance, I think that there was somebody saw some kind of animal. I don't know what it was, because the story's been retold and retold again. You get that telephone game where after being retold over and over again, things start to change about the aspects of it. But I think that there was something there that was attacking somebody's goat, and it caused mass hysteria. Now, the ones that they see in Texas are just mangy canines or foxes.
Philip, what's your kind of take on the whole cryptozoology thing?
Yeah, so in Australia, we have our own called a bunyip. So it's a little hairy yowie, sometimes it's called. It's like a little foot, not a big foot, but a little foot. So every culture seems to come up with them. And I think they might start off as mythical, and then some people start thinking they're actual. I think that there's just a natural intention to believe in a lot of things that sound like they could be real. And then you find evidence that supports what you suspect is real.
Great. Philip, where can everyone check you out at? Do you have a Twitter you want to refer people to?
So just on another note, so I actually have a collection of carnivorous plants. So you better watch out your bugs around my plants.
Can he hear me?
Philip, can you hear Ethan?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
I can now. Yeah, there was a delay.
Okay. Okay, cool. Where can everyone check you out at?
Me? Nowhere.
Yes. Okay. And what about you, Brainbug?
I'm on YouTube. Yeah, Brainbug. I'm also on Twitter.
Brainbug with no space.
Yep. No space. Brainbug, no space. That's how you find me. Stick that into a search engine, it'll pull me up.
Awesome. Brainbug, Philip, thanks both for joining the stream.
Yeah, and congratulations on the anniversary.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us.
Sweet. How's it going
excited.
so far, Richard?
I'm loving it. It's great. This is like, it's all my best friends in the community all just coming and talking to me. It's fantastic.
All right, well, let's bring back on Tangel and welcoming one of a kind atheist, one of my favorites. He doesn't like when I do this, Kenneth Leonard.
Kenny Lenny.
I don't know what one of a kind means. That if I like, I was thinking like, if I was thinking about, I just ordered a new like set of like dinner plates. If I had like a bunch that were what I ordered, but then one that was just like one of a kind, I'd be like, what the fuck is this? That's where my mind goes.
I think that's exactly what it means.
Probably. Anyway, good evening.
Hello.
So, you wanted to talk the Khalil response video, is that correct?
Yeah, that was, I don't know, I think Tangel invited me to that. I don't know whose idea that response video was initially, but Tangel invited me.
Yeah, she messaged me, she's like, said something to the effect of, can we do a response video to this like now? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
I was literally oscillating in my seat when I was watching his video, and I'm just somebody, we've got to do this, we've got to do this, we've got to do this. And yeah, I went quite crazy trying to do a response video. And then you made me wait, I think it was like 2 weeks.
Yes.
So I had to oscillate in my chair for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, we had a little Facebook group with just the people who were going to be in the response video, and for those 2 weeks, we all had Tangel's arguments. We knew her arguments down to a T because she was.
In terms of prep work, yeah.
I have never been so inspired to actually. That's the first time I've ever wanted to be on camera, and not.
Yeah, you took the bull by the horns and just friggin'.
Yeah, that really bugged me, and I felt that he had been victimized, and I still do. It still really irks me.
That was great for me because I was very new at that point, and you know, I was on with Ethan, who I was such a big fan of all your shows, and Kenneth, who I still to this day remember and refer to the first time I ever saw Kenny, and it was in one of the Facebook groups, the ACA Facebook groups, and we were both responding to the same person, and his arguments was like, I just looked at what Ken was writing and I thought, that is exactly what I want to say. And that was one of the first times that had occurred, and that I was just hooked from like, so Kenny was like this up here for me, and Tangel's like famous, and
I'll say in the Facebook groups, I genuinely look forward to my commute now, because when I'm on public transportation in Chicago, I'm scrolling through the Facebook groups, mostly reading what you, Richard, and Philip are responding to people with, and it's great. I just sit back and go, oh yeah, yep. Scrolling on my phone. But
yeah, so I was starstruck.
Well, the Khalil response was an interesting thing because it was an opportunity for all of us to sort of put a line in the sand and try to talk about how in our community we like talking about ideas, but increasingly I think that there's a very low tolerance for dragging attacks on people into the arena. That we really want to stick to addressing ideas, you know, the merits of the arguments, and not going after people. And I think we did an okay job of doing that. Hopefully, yeah.
I've actually never read the comments under the video, so I have no idea.
It was a long stream as well, wasn't it? It was like, was it 3 hours?
It was over 3 hours. It was like 3 hours and like
hours.
30-something minutes.
Yeah. Of me just venting.
We were just going to do like an hour and a half max. And then everyone's just like, yeah, I asked them privately and everyone's just like, yeah, let's keep going. So we just kept going to the whole video.
It takes as long as it takes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was just.
I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
and
Tangel
for those-
is loaded.
But for those interested in watching that video, Best Name Ever just put a link for it in the comment section.
Yeah, if you got 3.5 hours laying around, you could watch The Godfather or us. You know,
I vote us.
I know who I choose.
That was interesting because all joking aside, I was on with you guys and Dragnaut, another in our community, really gives well thought out arguments, and I did feel a little bit out of my depth. And watching that, when I did watch that back, eventually when I got 3.5 hours to sit down and do that, I saw myself making some mistakes as well. So that was, being on with you guys and looking at the way I was responding, because it was one of the first time I'd done a kind of live roundtable thing. It was really good for me, I think, altogether.
Yeah, I don't know why you thought you're out of your depth. I'm the only one that doesn't have any kind of background or education. I was the one that was way out of my depth. I just had a lot of ranty energy.
Hey, that's all it takes, really. I don't know about all this depth stuff, but it's an interesting thing going and looking back, over the course of a year, just how much we can all grow when we get out there and we engage and we are sort of in the arena. It sharpens you up. I find watching stuff that I've done unbearable. It's the worst thing that there is. But I can appreciate, the learning curve here. Yeah, we're all getting better. It's good, which is a good thing. That's that's what we want.
Right.
Except me, who has no interest in being on that.
Well, when you start at the top, there's nowhere for you to go.
Oh, please.
So
no, it's not my thing. But we need all the different people for all the different things, and I'm just a background girl. That's me.
Yeah,
I
the
like
background
it in
girl.
the shadows.
The mortar that holds everything together.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody's ringing.
I'm sorry. I don't know why this person's calling. Whoops.
Ethan. Classic Ethan.
That's what you get for having a socialite in your midst.
I know. He's,
Well, that's
Ethan's
where
in
we
demand.
keep so for those who don't know, when we're producing shows, most of us use Facebook chat. So we're commenting in private chats. And I was just looking for one of our other guests. So
Oh.
All right.
one
who
of
you
our
are.
guests will not be making it, Richard.
Right. Okay.
Do you see yourself doing more of these like long form response videos, Richard? After our marathon session.
Do you know what? On my own channel, I don't know. I like to, because I don't know about the subtleties of the legality around it, to be honest with you. I did one, I think it was the second or third episode of Skeptic Takeout, was a response video to a Mormon who was talking about the Big Bang and the Bible being perfectly in sync. And I messaged him to ask for his permission to use his video, and he said, no, absolutely not. So I kind of did the response video without any footage from his video, which was a little bit weird and awkward, but it was just me sat talking for a long time, which is not quite as interesting as having that kind of those visual cues. And his video was really good, well produced as well. It'd have been brilliant to do it to that, but I'm always a little bit wary.
That's the thing. Mormons, they've got the
We need to take a quick intermission for a message from Richard Gill.
Hi, Gilbert. It's Richard here, the Yorkshire Atheist. Sorry I can't be there. Well, no, hang on. I retract that apology. I'm not sorry I can't be there tonight because you decided to do this at fucking stupid o'clock. So there's absolutely no way I would have been here. I am definitely, right now, this second, unconscious upstairs in bed. But congratulations on your 1 year anniversary. You are an amazingly wise, intelligent, witty member of the Skeptic Hangout gang. And obviously the brilliant work that you've done on your own channel makes me envious of your knowledge and insight. So congratulations on your first anniversary, and may there be many more to come.
Oh,
I didn't expect that at all.
Aw.
I don't know. So now I'm very embarrassed.
I love it. I love it.
all right, Kenneth. Where can everyone check you out at?
They don't even want to, Ethan. You know,
They
honestly,
really
I don't.
do.
Okay, so
People need to.
that's an even bigger stretch. Okay, so I'm on Twitter and I co-host regularly on a show over on the ACA network called Talk Heathen. So those are usually the best places. If I'm lucky, once in a while I get asked to do this other superior program called The Perspective. But yeah, mostly Talk Heathen. Yeah,
And please check out Kenneth's TikTok.
Yes,
it's
definitely
growing.
do that too.
I'm oh my gosh, my TikTok feed now is just all like evangelicals and like faith healers and stuff.
Yeah.
And oh boy.
We need so much more humor,
Oh,
Kenneth. You need
what
to
a-
keep doing that.
What a world on TikTok. Good grief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do. Well, Kenneth Tangel, thank you so much for joining.
All
Thank
right.
you. Have a
Anytime.
Thank you
fantastic
so much.
day.
Anytime. Thank you,
Love
Richard.
you.
Thank you, Ethan.
Mwah. Mwah.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's so good. You know, Kenneth it cannot be stated enough how much he's. I look up to him and the way he speaks to people and the way he handles things. Are absolutely brilliant.
Same. He's a really smart dude and really nice dude too.
Definitely,
Cool. You ready to bring up your next guest?
I am.
We have Josh Entner. I hope I said that right.
It's close enough. Thanks for having me, Richard Gilliver. Really happy about your Sceptic Takeout. Really sure it's a great show.
Yeah, Josh is the first person on this stream who he has a podcast which isn't atheist related.
Not even skeptic, really, except for a couple episodes, which you were on the first one that we did. Like,
I was indeed. Do you want to tell people what your podcast is called and what you do?
it's called Bloody Good Film Podcast. I didn't come up with the name. It was a settle between my co-host, who's actually a theist, which came into an interesting thing with the first episode with Richard on here, because we found out that he witnessed his grandfather giving exorcisms a couple of times. So like I've tried to like the horror community, which it's a horror action podcast, but the horror community is more of what I'm with, is completely not skeptical. I know people that believe in ghosts. I'm actually going to have them on to debate on a future episode. I know people that just believe in all kinds of conspiracy theories. None of them are anti-vaxxers, at least, but they believe in all kinds of conspiracy theories. So like, I'm trying to shove a little bit of that into the podcast, and I've used Richard and I've used Laura as tools for that.
Yeah, it was great. The first episode you invited me onto, you and Jesse invited me onto, was the exorcism of Emily Rose. I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, which was about an hour and a half of people making scared faces at nothing. Like a cat attacked somebody at one point, and like, yeah, cats attack people. There's nothing supernatural or scary about that. I've had a cat claw my neck when I was sleeping before. So like normal things that happen. Scott Derrickson's kind of like a hack director that got big for some reason. All he does is like, he loves doing the religious angle and stuff. It was written like half, Scott Derrickson's the director and one of the co-writers, and the other guy was a skeptic. It did half the script skeptic, half the script from a theist perspective. And the skeptic side put down all these good points. And then Scott Derrickson's side was, but it could have been a ghost.
And that was pretty much the entire film.
Yeah, like, are you sure? I'm pretty sure.
It was. Well, and the second show we did was They Live with Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Which you don't go into your wrestling career enough on your podcast or your.
There's not really any need for it.
There's plenty of reason to talk about that kind of stuff. Like, you got to bring your wrestling charisma. Like, I'm challenging you, all you theists out there, come into the ring with me. bring that kind of energy to that Mormon that wouldn't let you use his video, and he'll feel like he has to come up to the challenge.
we have so much fun, and I know Laura McGee, who does Skeptic Hangout with me, she's been on your podcast as well, and she says the same thing. It is so much fun. You and Jesse make people feel so welcome, and you spend most of the time laughing. It's fantastic.
Well, I don't think that should have been muted. I don't think like everybody has to come up like all serious all the time to still get a message across. We still address social issues when we come across them on the podcast. Like we went over sleepaway camp, which I'm still afraid I probably didn't give that all the justice it needed because I'm a cis white male talking about a movie that deals heavily with transgender issues, and it does it horribly. It's the most transphobic movie I've ever seen, but we tried to address the issues. We're like, and then we've had we did Remo Williams, which had a white guy playing a Korean guy. Like we try to address the issues when they come across there. Like it is a fun, stupid podcast, but we like to we want to use what little voice we have to the 5 people listening to try and get a little bit of a good perspective on what's happening in the world and what was wrong back then and how we can hopefully in the future fix that kind of thing.
Yeah, and we met through essentially through Tangel, as many people in this community did, because we both started modding for the ACA. I think you were there before I was.
Before you, I saw Tangel brought you in. I'm like, you just brought in an all-star. We don't really need this Richard guy. So I'm honestly, I'm hostile to new people right away. But you won me over pretty quick. But that first day, I'm like, what do we need this guy for?
Yeah, we became friends really quick. And as Tangel said earlier on this stream, that it's a tight community.
For sure.
Modern, it's a small group and we're tight and we're all really good friends. And there are people who come and go within that, but the core group of us, we've been doing that, a year and a half now, something like that.
Pretty much.
And it's been fantastic. Great friendships.
I wouldn't have expected a friendship from somebody on the other side of the pond, is how you guys like to say it, right? I wouldn't have expected that, but I'm friends with Tangel, despite the fact that she won't admit that Australia doesn't exist. I'm friends with you, despite your love of tea so much, I assume. I don't but I really like what you do. That's why I try to use you people, and I try to push people from my very non-skeptical community into listening to this kind of stuff. My dad's become a fan of you and Laura, especially because you guys guested on my podcast, and now he doesn't listen to mine anymore. He just listens to Skeptic Hangout.
Your dad's very wise, obviously.
Well, no, he just believes that you sound smart, so he's going to believe you're saying smart things. He's not that wise. He's 5'4", so he just looks up to everybody.
So, right, can you tell people where they can find your podcast? Because it is interesting, even if you're not if you're in the skeptic community and you don't normally listen to that kind of thing, it is worth going and checking out. It's so much fun.
It's just any podcast player, just look up Bloody Good Film Podcast. It's a mixture of horror and action, and like I said, I'm trying to push skepticism in there. I've had people some people have the skeptic episodes are the ones that I've had the most pushback from people in the community that want to argue with me about stuff. So I want to keep that kind of thing going.
Well, Josh, thank you so much for being a part of today's stream.
Thanks for having me. Good luck with your 1 year, Richard. Hopefully you do another one.
Hopefully, we might get there. We might get there.
Thanks, Josh. All right, ready for your next guest, good sir?
Yes, I certainly am.
I really don't want to pronounce this incorrectly, so I'm going to ask you to pronounce the name of the next guest.
I am renowned for pronouncing Spanish names fantastically, so I'm just going to call him Taiyo.
Feliz cumpleaños aniversario, hermano. And yes, it's Teo el Ateo. So, hi, Richard. How are you? I'm so happy to see you. I can't believe I messed up at the beginning again.
Hello, Teo. It's great to have you on. Thank you for coming. You've been one of those people who've been a big supporter of my show from pretty much the outset, and it's you know, when you asked me on to do your show, which we'll get into shortly, that was one of those big moments for me to like, because I'd seen all these other great people before you had me on. You had Vila Bianca on, you had Jenna Bell, all these great people I looked up to anyway, and then you were asking me, and I was thinking, why does he want me on his show? I'm just some nobody from the other side of the world.
Are you kidding? I was so excited when you accepted being there because you are awesome as well. And you know what you're talking about. You know your stuff. And yeah, thanks to Tangel, those awesome people were there as well. Also, I have to say, these amazing people, they are unknown in Spanish. So those interviews don't have a lot of people watching them, only people who already speak English. But with you, it was a different stuff because with you, it wasn't just an interview. You came here, we talk about the Kalam, you explain all the reasons why that argument is trash. And it's very successful, one of the most successful ones. And that people, you know, people like to hate art, that type of things. And I love how much people like it. So
yeah,
you did great.
I enjoyed doing it, and you know, I got a chance to speak to our mutual friend afterwards, who you introduced me to as well. Who was it wasn't on the stream, was he? He was just kind of sat in the background. But after the stream had finished, we had a really good conversation.
Oh yeah, he still wants to try something with you. Now he's taking some time off, but he really wants to talk with you about morality and all of that.
Yeah. We talked about was that off the back of the Khalil video response video? I don't remember how that all came about.
The thing of the Kalam, it was because you and I, thanks to Tangel, we were talking in a group and you were talking about the Kalam and you were ranting about it. You tried to make it very short and I read that. I really liked what I read and I told you, please come to my show and explain this because I'm sure that people will be talking about that. And I have to tell you, some weeks later, I had a guy who called to the experience. He was from a Spanish-speaking country. So I told him, hey, Matt didn't let you talk much. Come to my show. And he went there. We talked about the Kalam. I used your arguments. I recently was in another show where another guy was talking about the Kalam. So everything that you said in there has been very useful for me. So yeah, I will keep saying that you're an expert in the Kalam because you have been refuting it for so long.
Expert in the Kalam. I have been doing it a long time. The first time I came, it wasn't the Kalam specifically, but I've got a friend. When I got married, my friend was the best man. He's a Muslim, so it was an argument I'd heard, not in the specific syllogism, the form of the Kalam, but it was an argument I'd heard about for a long time. We'd been talking about it years and years, me and my friend. And so I was familiar with the kind of basic principles of the argument. And I don't remember when I heard the Kalam as presented by the Kalam. I probably read it in some kind of philosophy book, but I wasn't aware of it. It'll have been from the Islamic perspective. It wasn't until a couple of years ago that I'd kind of found out about this William Lane Craig kind of fellow who'd jumped on it and taken hold of it for the Christians, as it were. That's the thing with the Kalam. The argument itself doesn't deal with God at all. But I was going to say almost every case, in every single case, I've come across it being used as an argument. It is used as a stepping stone to God. And so I think it's a bit disingenuous for people to say, you know, it's not an argument about God, because essentially it is. That even though technically it's not, it's always used as a stepping stone towards that.
Yeah, and as you said, all the premises are wrong. Even the first one about beginning to exist, we cannot even define that. So William Craig is just adding an arbitrary law for everything without even explaining if they can actually exist or not. Recently, I had a guy telling me, oh, but he wrote several pages in the book explaining that. And it's like, dude, 0 100 times is still 0. So, yep. And all the premises fail.
Yeah, one of the most amazing things for me about being on your show was actually hearing myself, because I can't speak a word of Spanish, but you got someone into chat to kind of, you dubbed me into Spanish. And it was amazing just seeing my face and Spanish words appearing in not my voice. That was fantastic. And I think that's a really good thing you've got going, because you've done that with the Atheist Experience show as well, haven't you? You've translated that for the Spanish-speaking audience. How's that gone for you?
Yeah, well, those calls are very interesting. Now I'm doing my own calls too, so I have not been doing the dubbing stuff. Interesting fact, the guy who was talking with you after we recorded, he's the one who did your voice. So I don't know how we're going to do it if we do the episode together, because he won't be able to dub you. Or maybe, who knows. But yeah, it's been working great. I guess I still, one of my favorite ones is the Trinity call when I dubbed Matt Dillahunty when 3 people called him to defend slavery. People do like those calls, I guess, because it's the atheist experience, and it's these most atheists who watch it. And as I said, I'm trying to do that now with other people and doing original stuff, and those have been people like them as well. So I'm happy about that. It's easier to do it. I miss dubbing videos, but it's so hard to put all the voices and with the movement of mouth and all of that. It's interesting, hard work. Well, you have seen the result.
Yeah, and I implore other people who haven't, especially if they're Spanish speaking, to go and see the results. You've also appeared on some ACA shows, haven't you? And the non-profits with me, we did an episode of that together. And how does that compare to doing your own channel's work?
Well, I really enjoy going to the non-profit. I'm always very happy about participating there because of all these different opinions that we have, all these different people that appear in there. So most of you are awesome people. So me in there is so weird. It's like, oh yeah, these amazing people that I look at so much, and me in there, the cartoon. Yeah, really nice. But I really like it. I really love it, and I think it's awesome. It's like I feel like I'm getting more successful in English rather than in Spanish, despite doing everything in Spanish except for this one thing. But I really like it. I love it. I actually used one of the episodes I was into for my episodes, the one about where we were talking about vaccines. That's another one that you can see dubbed in my channel. Well, only parts, because I don't want to take much from the episode. But yeah, I like it. I love it, and I really hope you and I can appear again in another episode soon, because
definitely.
Yeah,
I agree with you. It's when I go on shows like that, I feel like you appear with these amazing people who've as content creators, they're fantastic, and they're putting such good material out there, and you feel a little bit starstruck. It's like I was saying earlier when I first worked with Kenny and Tangel and Ethan, and it's like the people you've been watching for so long and like were really inspiring you, and then all of a sudden you're on screen with them, and you've got to up your game. It's brilliant.
So, Richard, you haven't realized that you are one of those amazing people yet? You are awesome, guy. Come on. Look at all the amazing people that you got in here. All these stars who are in here just for you. It's because you are doing a great job, including Ethan.
Hi, Ethan. Hi. Cool. The link to check out Taiyo is in the description of the video. I believe Richard gave me that list, and we have a list of everyone's links. So, Taiyo, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you for inviting me, guys. You are amazing.
You too. Sweet. Okay, coming up next, we have none other than the Perspective's own Secular Rarity and Cynthia McDonald.
Oh, someone's buzzing.
We are here.
We're getting some buzzing sound effects.
Okay.
I don't know.
Wait, we're good now.
We're good now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank the Lord.
Praise be Jeeboo.
That's right. Somebody must have sacrificed something right there.
I did a goat earlier.
Oh, there,
So-
it's back.
Oh,
It's
God
where-
damn it. Okay, hold on.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
it's on
you,
your end.
Cynthia.
Okay. What about now?
Same, still. Well, there we go.
That's good?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I dialed down my
Oh, bad
volume.
again. Anyways,
How about now?
still there.
Y'all keep talking while I'm trying to figure out my my technological life.
Well, I'll take the opportunity to say nice things about Richard. I mean, I can always do that. Like, which, by the way, I don't know if anybody like Josh was mentioning this earlier about your wrestling career, and I don't know if anybody's ever like explicitly said this while you're on camera or not. But I mean, do you lift, bro? Like, you look swole. Like you look
I
like
used to.
yeah.
What happened was I got COVID in November of last year, and it's like had a really damaging effect on my body, and I'm still like having tests and things done, and I've not done anything since that. But before that, I used to, because I'm a mailman by kind of profession, so I used to go for a run in the morning and then do 15 miles walking at work, and then I'd come home and go into the gym for 2 hours. So I was kind of super fit, and then I got COVID and was just wiped out completely. I haven't lifted anything since then, so I think it's just residual.
Would you
and the thick
max that?
jumper.
Would you max that, man? You look like you could lift like two of me.
You know what? I never lifted a lot because I was always before I did the wrestling. I bulked up to wrestle, but before I did the wrestling, I was into martial arts and stuff. So I was never like a big lifter. I was more kind of just wanted the speed and power.
Yeah.
So I only started bulking up when it was funny because when I started wrestling, how did we get onto this?
Sorry, it's just my fault. I was just kind of rambling about nonsense. That's
before I started wrestling. My aforementioned best man, who Tangel's to put me off now, but giving all the secrets away. Before I started wrestling, I spoke to my best man at my wedding, the Muslim guy, and I'm getting distracted by the messages. He's a personal trainer by profession, and I asked for some dietary. I said I need to like bulk up a little bit. I want to put some weight on to wrestle. And it did me this meal plan, and I swear to God, I got bored of eating. And I'm not somebody who gets bored of eating. I like my food, but I was eating that much. I was like eating 6 meals a day with stuff in between, and I was just like, oh God, I forgot to eat again. I mean, it literally had me waking up in the morning and eating 2 bagels, like before I did anything.
It's a
before
chore
I brushed
at that
my teeth.
point. Like that's
No,
that's way too much effort, man. Like I don't put I put some thought into my food. Don't get me wrong, but I don't put that much thought.
Yeah, at the time as well, I was in the gym for 4 hours a day after going to work. So it was I was doing a lot, but yeah, I've not done anything for a while.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that, apologists? Richard's got you on the mat. He's got you in the logic chamber, in the library, you wherever. It doesn't matter. Richard will meet you there, and he is ready to throw down. That's the moral of this story.
It's funny because I know not many people out in the sphere know this, but I know you. I'm not sure about Cynthia, but I know you know, Secular, that a few weeks ago I was kind of on my way home from a party, and I actually got attacked, and
yeah, I do remember.
A few like planks of wood and things cracked over me, and it was just took me back 5 years to like 10 years or whenever it was when I was wrestling. It was I was like, okay,
he's got a steel chair.
I've had worse than a plank of wood smashed over me back before.
Yeah. You look like you could take it. I mean, no, that was a very upsetting a very upsetting thing, man. I am.
Yeah,
sorry
it's
that
mostly
happened.
because I had my children with me, so
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
it was more about a case of trying to get them safe. And
Yeah.
but yeah.
Sure.
But anyway, let's get off this weird subject that you brought.
Sorry about that.
He only brought it up, and I do apologize, guys. It seems like that I'm having some technical difficulties, so I'm just going to like just jump in and out saying things. So, Richard is a hell of a guy. I am so glad that I got a chance to meet with him and talk to him, and also work with him on the Nonprofits that actually airs every Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Nonprofit Show. Please make sure that you guys like and subscribe to that particular show. Done chilling? Great. So back to Richard. Richard, again, is one of the smartest Englishmen that I ever met in my life. Not to say that I know many, but he's definitely up there. You know, I would probably put you at a number 2 next to Sir Patrick Stewart.
That's good.
We've got the same haircut.
You do. You totally do. And I'm pretty sure you can bench press him if you wanted to. By the way, guys, he's really short in real life. I want to put that out there. But I don't know if Richard is short because I've only met Richard virtually. Speaking of virtually, we had a great discussion on one of the Meet the ACA. We basically took that over. Sorry, Kelly, but we did. And did a whole back and forth about Buddhism. And
it was fantastic. Yeah, it was your thing. On for the people who don't know, the Meet the ACA casting crew is a show that Kelly Laughlin has on Discord, and it's fantastic. It is what it says on the tin. It has the casting crew on, and you get to ask them questions. And Cynthia was on, and I'd been on. I think I was on the week before, and I went and I thought, I know Cynthia's coming on. I must go and speak to her, and and I didn't intend for it to turn out what it did. But it just turned into like a back and forth between us two. It was great, wasn't it?
It was so much fun. And the thing about it is that like our back and forth, like we got a chance to, I think that we learned a lot from one another. I know I learned a lot from you, especially, because like, if y'all didn't know, I'm pretty sure you do because you're watching, Richard knows a lot of shit. And there you go, guys. I wait a minute. I just want to tell the story real quick. Like, so in the back chat, like, when they was given like the schedule and they said, okay, yeah, when Cynthia come on, we already know she gonna curse, so we're gonna bring her towards the end because that's what I do. But it's cool. Because that just means you pay attention. But back to what I was saying previously, Richard knows a lot of shit. I mean, like a lot, because like he does things like read, which is very important. I recommend reading. I think that everyone should do it. Heard about that Frederick Douglass guy. He's a pretty good guy too. So, and I think that he read as well. So I encourage people to read about things so that you know things, and you'll be like Richard, who knows a lot of shit. See what I'm saying?
That's right.
So enough about me now. You've both had your turn about me, so it's my turn. Cynthia is, we're getting interrupted now by Ethan.
Well, yeah, I'm just, we're approaching we got like 30 seconds. Actually, we have no seconds.
Oh wow. Cynthia's amazing. Secular's amazing. Go and check out what they do. When Secular's hosting The Perspective, it's always going to be brilliant. We've done stuff together. We hosted The Perspective together. We also did an episode of Skeptic Hangout on Mormonism, which you must check, especially the prophecies section, because that is fantastic. Cynthia, I've only relatively recently worked with, but I've been aware of you for so long, and I've always been a great big fan. And the non-profits, especially when you sing, and she's an amazing singer. If you haven't heard Cynthia sing, go and listen to her sing, because she's brilliant. Just an all-round fantastic human being.
It's
so funny.
It's in my ACA contract. That and my preacher voice.
Yeah, so both amazing people. So I wanted to spend a lot more time talking about those two, but Secular went and kicked it off, and then Cynthia started saying all this weird shit about me being clever. So
we're supposed to be here saying nice things about you, and I had to come up with some bullshit off the top of my head.
Right, and
you
Ethan
know,
paid me to say nice things about
That's
you.
right.
So, I'm sorry. Ethan.
You got paid? How much you paying you? Oh my god, we'll talk about this
I'm sorry.
backstage.
That was between me. I brought that. My bad.
All right.
I'm never gonna be on any type of Ethan show again.
I'm gonna bring on your next guest, Jenna.
Hello.
hello, Jenna is another non-profit.
I am. So I will go ahead and allow Miss McDonald to take up the rest of my time. I give her my time. No, I'm kidding.
No, don't do that.
We can share the time.
Okay. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to let you reclaim your time. How about that?
Okay. No, sorry. Copyright. Is that copyright? I'm not sure.
Nah.
Secular, how are you? Good to see you, young man. Richard, of course. I think it's really nice to have more voices. Don't ever feel that your voice is shorter than anyone else, whether they're have more subs, more views, whatever. Every voice is unique and important, and yours really is. And Cynthia is full stop right. You are very intelligent, very word up, yeah, very read up and word up. And I appreciate with what you and Laura and Richard number 2 do. Yes, he's Richard number 2 on Skeptic Hangout, because it's unique in which you tackle topics that more or less are not always broadly dove into, maybe through casual panels it's mentioned, maybe through Discord chats or whatever chats where people hang out. But I enjoy each of your perspectives, and also enjoy having you as far as being on the nonprofits with pretty much all of us here on screen. I like that.
Yeah,
but
that was a great episode as well. I'm sorry for interrupting, but that
No.
episode of the non-profits that we 4 did together, we tackled some serious issues, but we laughed. It was so much fun. It was we have such a natural chemistry, the 4 of us together, that it was never going to be anything but just fantastic fun, no matter how serious the issues get.
Whoever that producer was is probably a wonderful, wonderful person and super valuable to the community. I have no idea who that might be. Some direction. It's somebody.
Somebody in this room. But truly, it's so funny. Even I would say for both you and Secular, because I recall when I started with the nonprofits early on, when they revamped a year ago, I see both your names. And I'm just like, I feel like I know these people. And then I would find you guys I found Richard on Facebook, or Richard found me. I think Richard found me. And then he started like commenting on things. And I'm like, this is a cool dude. Okay. And then when I heard that you'd be a guest on Nonprofits, I was like, oh, I know him. I know that guy. Like, not like personally, I think we're friends. Like, we're friends on Facebook, so I guess that makes us friends. I don't know. Social media
counts.
Is weird.
That
That counts. Yeah.
Now it totally counts.
Okay, good. No, I genuinely appreciated having you because of what you represent yourself as, what you strive for, what you do. You contribute so much to the nonprofits, and I'm very proud to say that you'll be helping and assisting and contributing to a side job that we have for you, which is going to be fantastic because it's something that is needed in this community as well. So I think by all means, your voice is important to that. So I appreciate you. Happy 1-year anniversary, and you'll continue to do more, obviously, because we'll work you, because you barely get any sleep. You should be sleeping now. You are a crazy man. Justin tells me all the time, why is he trying to be on our show if it's 5 a.m.? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Don't worry about it. And check this out, y'all. All them books back there, he read them at least twice.
That's why I don't have books behind me. I have pillows. That says a lot.
Yeah, he got notes in the margin and everything, y'all. I mean, it just
for sure.
Yeah, it takes time. That takes time and effort. And in between that, again, just as a reminder, dude was lifting weights. I mean, dude was killing it in the gym
while I
He
was reading.
learning. That's right. He's got the book in one hand.
Right, the
weight
book,
in the
right.
other.
Yep.
I didn't know you lift, bro. You look like you lift, though. So
Man.
it makes sense.
Jenna, right, it's my turn to talk about Jenna now.
Oh,
Stop talking about me. Jenna and Justin's show, International Freethinkers. I don't watch. Surprisingly, a lot of people might not actually know this, but I don't watch much kind of atheist skeptic content, which isn't like Laura or Ethan. There's very little I actually watch out there. I might catch the odd show from someone, but there's nothing I sit aside and watch regularly. International Freethinkers, I do. That's one of my favorite shows, and I absolutely loved it. And I cannot tell you how happy I was when Jenna invited me on. She reached out and said, "Do you want to come on? We're doing a special about secular parenting." And it was a panel show, and it was fantastic. And then it's evolved into this thing that we're going to be doing in the future, which is a monthly, is it? A monthly show about secular parenting, and I'm so looking forward to it. And it's like, this is one of those things where you think, like, I feel like I've been accepted in this community because this show I love so much is wanting me on there. And that's, I love Jenna. I remember a show actually, Jenna and Cynthia and a couple of other people did about Black voices in the community. And I was just watching that as a matter of course because I love watching their stuff. And all of a sudden, my name was mentioned, and I was like, "Shit, what's going off here?" It was like I was texting all my friends saying, "Look, I've got a mention on this." In fact, you'll probably notice if you have a look at the analytics that around that section where my name's mentioned, there'll probably be a peak.
Like this one dude, lately. No, that's Richard.
I'm going to make sure that every time that I'm on anything, I'm going to mention Richard Gilliver and send the link so that like the views can just like go up. Like across the pond will just be going crazy.
Oh yeah. Well,
no,
I mean,
yeah. Go on.
Oh no, I apologize. No, I was just gonna. Well, thank you. Obviously, it is that's appreciated. Like, because we're. What me and Justin do is, we're full-time working people. So, we made a point. Well, okay, if we're going to do something, let's just, make it purposeful. And, it's once a week, okay, you drop off your kids and I'll try and get home because we're on opposite ends of the freaking time zones, time zones and whatnot. But no, I that's appreciated. And just like I said, we hope that we're putting out substantive content, which can be also fun but educational too. I mean, we don't take everything what we say for a grain of salt because we work just like anyone else, and we strive and activize just like anyone else. We just try and do our best just like anyone else, just like you, Cynthia. Well, no, not Cynthia. Cynthia on a whole other platform. I can't touch that. Nobody can touch that. But secular, everyone here but Cynthia. We do our best.
The thing is,
already got there.
Before Ethan jumps in, I just want to say the thing is that we all, as a community, us four exemplify, I think, what a community can be, because we come in, we get on so well together. We speak with the same voice, but with different shades of that voice, and it's fantastic. This is what this community is about, and this is why I wanted this show not to be about my show. I wanted it to be about you all, because you all are instrumental in what I've done and what I'm doing. And I genuinely love every single person who's been on here. That's why you're on. No one's on this show just for the sake of it. You're on this show because you mean so much to me.
Well, before you kick the three of us off, we have to at least take one more second and say some gushy, nice things about you, right? I mean, seriously, guys, check out Richard anywhere you can find him. He has been on a lot of stuff. He will be on lots of things in the future. He's an absolutely wonderful person, and I know everybody here is just so thankful for what you do, man. So that's it of my mushiness, but had to get one more in.
I second and third and quadruple that emotion, Richard. You are no, seriously. I am a fan of yours. I think that I'm really, really mean when I say that I learned so much watching you when we are doing shows together. Your perspective and just like all around learnedness in subjects that you comment on is just a delight, and you're our treasure. And thank you so much for having us on and doing this.
You're gonna get me
great.
crying, give over now.
You're great. No, seriously. And I was only kidding. Ethan did not pay me to say that. The other thing, no, I'm just kidding. No, nothing. No, seriously, I love you.
No, I mean, on top of what has already been said and what I said, you know, we, no matter who we are, big or small, we strive to, we're doing this for a reason, and we should make that reason purposeful. And I feel that you fulfill that truly. You know, I joke and kid because, you know, Cynthia's the GOAT, but you know, she know I play with her. She know I play, but truly, you know, I aspired and admired Cynthia when I first kind of got welcomed into doing, you know, shows. And she was like one of those first live shows on Ethan's channel where she hosted a Black panel discussion. And, you know, that was, you know, seeing how she conducted herself, you don't already know this, Cynthia, was something I wanted to aspire and do as well. And, you know, try to represent myself the best way I can and know how I can effectively, intelligently convey, you know, my perspectives, opinions, whether someone listens to me or not. And I think that you do that too for yourself. You have all these people that you have come to gather for you tonight, and you have admired them and may have positioned or, you know, modeled yourself out of some, but you've definitely out of that mold created your own self, and you represent your own self. And I think that's important. So you can only just build up further from there. So thank you.
Thank you, Jenna. Thank you, Cynthia. And thank you, Secular Rarity. Enjoy.
Love you all so much. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Richard, ready for your last set of guests?
Yeah, I'm just wiping a few tears away because that was amazing.
All right, we have got Kyle Brewer and is it Ascalon or Ascalon? Ascalon?
Ascalon. And now I've had the compliments. This is the time where I get the shit took out of me. So
well, Richard, let me be the first to say congratulations on 1 year. How does it feel?
It feels good. You know, at the top of the show, I was saying in the green room that I was like nervous as hell about this, but it's just been amazing having everybody on who like means so much to me, who's worked it with me and inspired me in different areas. It's been fantastic. Absolutely love it. I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you, man. Like the content you've put out over the past year has been phenomenal. You know, it's like I told you, your surgical precision with deconstructing bad arguments is to be admired.
It's also quite surprising as well, given that this is the country that brought you 10 years of Tory rule and Brexit.
It is true. It is true. We the fact that England can produce anything of any substance is a minor miracle. But you two have both been on Skeptic Hangout a couple of times, haven't you? And it kind of helped us out at the last minute as well. Full disclosure on a couple of occasions. So
there was almost no warning. We were just like, yeah, we'll do it, no problem.
That was okay. It was good fun.
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't. We were kind of all over the place with the astrology episode, but I think we really reined it in with the astronomy episode.
Yeah, that's the thing with Skeptic Hangout, as Laura was saying earlier on, we really do on that show, we do everything unrehearsed, unscripted, and it's sometimes it turns out well, and other times it's like a shit show because we literally don't know what we're talking about, and that's what the astrology episode was, and we're like, oh, where do we go?
but that made it fun, you know. And
So I met both of you through the ACA doing the modding stuff. You both came in a little later than me, Phil, and Josh kind of all started around the same time. Tangel and I want to give a shout out actually because we've had Best Name and Caitlin working hard for us all night, and they're both really important aspects of that community as well. And you know, they are as important, and they've been working off screen for us tonight in the live chat, and they're as important as anybody. You don't have to be on screen and presenting yourself in this community to be an important person. You know, Tangel proved that. She's been so instrumental behind the scenes of pushing a lot of people. And it's an amazing community we have, and we all work really closely together, and you know, we have a good relationship. Ascalon just takes the piss out of me constantly. It's fantastic. It's but we have that bond. We have a very, I think, special bond between all of us, and I think it's quite fitting that we finish the show with three of those moderators for that community who really do work well and closely together and share laughs, and we share sad stories, and we you know, when bad things happen, we come to each other, and when good things happen, we come to each other, and you know, it's love, laugh, and tears all the way, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you should thank Elle for that. I wasn't interested in it until she convinced me to do it, and then Best Name bullied me into doing the Facebooking as well. So
yeah. Tangel is the one that got me into modding for the Facebook groups, coming up on a year now this month.
Wow. So time flies.
Yeah, it does. And it's just a real tight knit group. You know, getting to meet you was a pleasure, and becoming your friend even more so. And following you over this year journey has been phenomenal to watch.
And it's been a year for me, but your channel's only just started, and you did a recent deconversion show with Neil the 604 Atheist.
Yep.
Which was a fantastic show. And so tell us a little bit about that, and tell us a little bit about how that led into your own channel.
Well, you know, honestly, it just kind of started with, I was watching Neil's show, and I was commenting, and he goes, "Kyle, you know, I've been meaning to reach out to you for a while." And I was like, "Really? Me? Why?" He's like, "Yeah, just come on the show." And I'm like, "All right, let's do it." And I told you guys in the group, and y'all had a lot of support for me, so I just dove right in. And from there, it was so much fun that I wanted to keep the YouTube thing going. So here we are.
And your channel is about science.
Currently, it's on a space science run. So all things to do with space. I've got a few more videos planned up. It's roughly once a week right now. So, yeah.
That's what we were talking about with Jenna and Cynthia and Secular just a minute ago, when we're saying there's so many voices in this community, and sometimes like your channel and like Josh's Bloody Good Film podcast, they don't always, you know, necessarily sit in that nestle of skepticism or atheism particularly. And because we all have different interests outside that, and that's what's so interesting about this community for me. We have this shared interest, but we also have our own areas of interest and our own areas of expertise. And it's wonderful to see that all these different content creators doing these different channels and doing these different things, moving these different directions, and it makes the wider community. It's a wonderful thing, and there's so much stuff out there you can watch and learn from. It's brilliant.
And the way this community is growing and just evolving, it's really cool to see and be a part of. You know, because I was just a small part of this community for a long time, hiding in the background, and like most of us were, and now we're putting ourselves out there. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah, and Raymond has been on our show a couple of times, but he's one of those people who we're talking about who who is so important behind the scenes. Ascalon, you started off in Discord, was it? And then moved over to Facebook and YouTube. And how was that transition for you? And how do you feel about that kind of role you play in the community and how important it is?
Yeah, pretty much just parrot what you guys have said, really. I mean, I generally like to, much like Kyle, stay in the background. You're only really aware of my presence if you need to be booted out of one of the groups. And I kind of like that.
And you're good at is a good bad cop. But you're a good voice of reason as well. And it's amazing working alongside you and having that perspective, and because we all work off each other, and we all, it's not just about that friendship, it's about working together as well. And Raymond's not of Ascalon. I keep calling you Raymond. Ascalon is not one of these people who will sit back and be shy if he needs to tell you something if you think you've made a bad decision. And that's what makes us such a good group of people in that behind the scenes capacity. That's what a lot of people don't see. It's like that is the gel that holds a lot of this community together.
Yeah, there's a lot of communication that goes into what we do.
Most
definitely.
definitely.
That's a lot of crap as well. I mean, there's generally a lot more bollocks than there is actual work gets done.
There's a lot of messing around, but that's just what makes it fun.
Yeah. I think that's part of why we're so good working together as well. Why we're all so good working together. So, give us. I've not done this yet on this. I wanted to do this, but we got so caught up in stuff. If you can both give me, who are you watching in this community, other than like our little circle? Who have you got your eyes on? Which content creators do you think will, in a year's time, be having a year's anniversary party, which will be getting all these amazing friends together?
I've actually been really getting into Laura's stuff, unapologetically me, quite recently. I like her. She's trouble.
She certainly is. And Kyle?
Outside of our little circle, I don't watch a whole lot of content that's not, us. But I'll agree with Ascalon. Laura's stuff's pretty good. I've watched a lot of your stuff, Richard. So it's whenever an upload happens, it's right there.
Yeah, it's few and far between. That is another thing with my channel is I try and research stuff. We've not really talked about the technicalities of what I do on Skeptic Takeout much during this stream, but I do try and research stuff and go to papers and get the facts right before I present them, if at all possible. It's very I call it boring. If you can stand listening to my monotone voice talking for 40 minutes, which is usually about how long the videos are on like scholarly translation, then you're probably in the right place. But yeah, it's a great community overall. It's fantastic. I love working with you guys. Everybody who's been on the show, I've said this so much. Everybody who's been on this show tonight is here because I absolutely love them. I love what they do, whether it's in front of the camera or behind the camera. And it's, I'm so happy that you've all come together to, celebrate this with me.
Yeah.
Any kind of final words?
Well, you've got a lot of great support behind you, and all the people who showed up tonight for the 1 year anniversary. That's amazing. Just keep going, keep pushing, and hopefully we can see this again in another year.
Thank you, Richard.
Raymond.
Or Kyle, and thank you, Ascalon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries.
Cool, Richard. So did you have fun tonight?
You know what? That's been fantastic. I can't believe that. When I put this together, the original idea was to just do a video, looking back, and I invited a lot of people who I respected and who meant a lot to me. And you came up with the idea of streaming this live, which I'm so grateful for, Ethan, and all those people just were so eager to jump on board, and it overwhelmed me. It really did overwhelm me. And as I've said a couple of times, everybody who's been on tonight means so much to me. And it's people I've worked with, people in front of the camera, people behind the camera, people behind the scenes, people who are doing stuff in the wider community. And I think Jenna touched on it perfectly when she said it's all these different voices that make the community. Every voice deserves to be heard. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for coming and celebrating this for me. I hope it's been fun to watch, as fun to watch as it has for me to do.
Yeah, I think it was a really good show. Everyone, make sure, if you haven't, like, subscribe. Do you have a Patreon?
No, I don't have a Patreon. No, but you can buy me a coffee.
Okay. All right. So buy Richard a cup of coffee. He should get a Patreon set up soon. It's a good thing to have. But anything else you wanted to cover?
I'm just so grateful for this community. I'm so grateful for you, who's giving me the voice on the perspective, which, as I said earlier, I absolutely love doing that calling thing. It's so different to everything else I'm doing, and it keeps you on your toes all the time. I absolutely love that. Thank you for opportunities you've given me, and thank you for doing this stream, for producing this stream tonight, because it's been so much fun. I love everybody who's been on here.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Remember, like, subscribe, be safe, and we'll see you next time.